Hello, if you're joining us from another time, welcome. I was just saying welcome to all people here. And yeah, I was just saying that since I was starting doing the handout and just like writing things down and preparing everything, I was like, this is something that I have been wanting to do for a long time. And finally, I got like a little bit of like confidence. You know, like it was confidence actually, the thing that what I was lacking into, like kind of like jumping in and saying, okay, well, I'm good. So I had a couple of people inspire me, and but yeah, thanks for that. And we're gonna start just taking a look at the handout. We're gonna skip the opening mantra for now because we're gonna go through that once we're standing. And I just wanted to talk about a little bit of the introduction to Ashtanga yoga. And you will see it's written in the transliteration from the Devanagari. The word Ashtanga, as we commonly know, it's written Ashtanga with SH, comes from the Sanskrit Ashta or Ashtau, meaning 8, and Anga, meaning limbs or parts, right? And as we may already know, the word yoga comes from the word or the verb root juj, meaning to link or to join. So this kind of like gives me the sense of like, okay, Ashtanga yoga means like to join those 8 limbs, right? Patanjali, the classical period, mentions in the Yoga Sutras that these 8 limbs or 8 steps to attain liberation. And we saw this in the other class. And we were talking about these 8 kind of like steps that he mentions in order to kind of like bring a nice connection between like what we are in this earth and in this life into the divine, of course. And so I'm just going to go very quick through them. I'm not going to stop too much in theory, but okay, it's the yamas, the moral imperatives, the niyamas, the virtuous habits or observances, asana, which is something that we're going to specialize today, of course, and in this particular course, the posture practice, pranayama, which is the expansion of energy by controlling the breath. We will see and we will talk a little bit about that during our sessions. I really want to dive a little bit into the pranayama practice. Pratyahara, turning the awareness inwards, dharana, which is the concentration or focus or we kind of like withdrawal of the senses, which leads us eventually to dhyana, which is a profound meditation. And eventually, when we kind of like master that part of the, we master the control of the mind, we eventually reach the state of samadhi, right? So a long way to go, right? It's easier said than done, I guess. And I'm just gonna have a brief definition here for asana. Patanjali defines asana as Sthira Sukham Asanam in the 2nd chapter, verse 46 of the Yoga Sutras. Sthira is steady, Sukha means pleasure or happiness or comfort, and asana means seat or posture. So aesthetic and comfortable should be the posture, right? The posture should be steady and comfortable. And yeah, by following this precept of the great sages, the first duty is to take care of the body, which is a means to pursue spiritual life. So this is exactly why we practice yoga, right? Like to take care of the body in order to go through those steps and kind of like, yeah, go through our limbs and eventually reach that state of samadhi. That is our objective, of course. And then in the handout, you will see a little bit of like Surya Namaskar that we're going to go through today. We're going to go through the Surya Namaskar A, Surya Namaskar B, and then we'll go at least today through the fundamental asanas, which is in page 2. So there are a couple of those. The idea of the Ashtanga practice, and it was built thinking of for the practitioner to be able to practice on their own, right? Like, so you go to a teacher and say, hey teacher, I want to learn Ashtanga yoga. Okay, and then the teacher says, come tomorrow, and then you come tomorrow, and then the teacher is in front of you and says, okay, well, we're gonna practice Surya Namaskar. And then once you kind of like go to Surya Namaskar a couple of times, and then the teacher says, okay, you have Surya Namaskar A. Now we're gonna practice Surya Namaskar B. And then you practice the next day you practice Surya Namaskar A, and then you practice Surya Namaskar B. And then when the Guruji is there, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna go through the first asana, right? And then we have the first asana, which is Padangushtasana. Our two forward folds. No problem. Do you need a little bit of water?
No, she just always gets more coffee.
Just okay. That's all right. That's all right. So the objective of or kind of like the way that the Ashtanga practice is built is for you to kind of like repeat the sequence over and over and over again until you learn it. And once you learn it, and once you master some poses, you will go to Guruji and say, hey Guruji, I can do this. And then you would say, okay, I'll give you the next asana, and I'll give you the next asana, and then I'll give you. And then like eventually, this man, Patavi Joyce, kind of like ran out of like asanas in the first series, right? Because he had a couple of very dedicated students that were like, went through the whole series, and they're like, okay, well, what else? Let's build second series, and then let's build third series, and then let's build fourth, 5, and 6. There's 6 series. Of course, it's a long way and a long journey to practice every day with consistency, and in order to go that far, of course. But I think the most important thing that I have to say, and with that I will close the speech, is how the practice helps us build consistency. It's about that. It is not about getting the next posture. Yes, that is like kind of like the thing that you're pursuing, right? Like a little mouse like running after something, right? But is it that the objective, or is the objective kind of like building that consistency into the practice, that eventually the consistency of the practice and the way you do it over and over again becomes kind of like something like a moving meditation, right? It's very subtle, and then you just roll out your mat, and that's what happens to me several times, you know, like in the morning, I just roll out my mat. I have a lot in my mind, and then like everything shuts down, and I just go through it. And it's like, yeah, some days it's like magic, and it's like, oh well, like I just don't think, and I just go through practice. And some other days, of course, I stand on my mat, and I was like, every single posture I'm thinking about something else, right? And I cannot concentrate, or I fall out of postures, or things like look very messy. So, but it's a nice exercise for observation or internal observation. All right. All right. Having said that, wow. Okay, we're gonna start at the top of the mat, standing. And if you would like to join me with our opening mantra, you're more than welcome to do that. I will do a call and repeat. If you want to hold it and read it, that's all right. If you don't want to hold it and read it, that's okay too. You know, like I learned the mantra way before I read it. I read it first, so I just like learned it because consistency, right? Listening to my teacher recite it several times, yeah, just practice. Okay. So if you would like, turn your palms at the center of the chest, and then the mudra. Take a moment here to connect to your intention, to connect to your mat. And just start with something very simple. What is the sensation underneath your feet? Just recognize what's the sensation underneath your feet. How does your mat feel? How does that energy from your feet rises into your legs? All the way into your hips. All the way into your torso, and maybe you feel a little bit more taller, or a little bit taller. And we take a big breath in. And a full breath out, let that go. If you would like to join me, I will start with an Om, and we'll do call and repeat for the rest. Take a big breath in to Om. Vande Gururam, Vande Gururam, Charanarvinde, Sandarashita, Swatma Sukhabhavode, Nishrayasya, Changalikayamane, Samsara hala hala, Mohashantye, Avahu Purushakaram, Avahu Purushakaram, Shankachakra-siddharinam, Sahasra Shirsam Shvetam, Sahasra Shirsam Shvetam, Pranamamim Patanjalim, Pranamamim Patanjalim. Together. And we release the palms by our sides. We start at the top of the mat with the Surya Namaskar. All right, feet together, hands by your sides in Samasthiti position. Take a nice big breath in to reach up towards the sky. And on the exhale, we fall forward over the legs. On your next inhale, lengthen the side, hands to your shins. On the exhale, plant those hands on the mat and step back to your plank. Lower the knees and lower all the way down to the floor. We're going to find 3 back bends first. Press into the hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale to lower back. Deep inhale to open up, back again. On the exhale, lower back down. Last one, deep breath in to open back up. On the exhale, we'll lower back down. Press into those hands, step back to your knees, tuck your toes and step back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. If this posture is uncomfortable, we can lower the knees down, no problem at all, and we'll use instead tabletop. Take a nice long inhale. Full breath out. 2 more. Long exhale. Last one. And empty that out. On your next inhale, raise your heels, bend your knees. Walk or step all the way to the top of the mat. Lengthen your spine, inhale. Exhale to just fold. Root down through your feet, come all the way up. Samasthiti, hands by your sides. Okay, so a couple of things in here. When we lower down in Doi or in 2 position, you're gonna hear me like start counting. Okay, so I'm gonna start counting Ekam, inhale. 2, exhale. 3, inhale. 4, plant the hands, step back. Either lower with knees or toes to the ground. Instead of that one, if that feels uncomfortable, we could go through a couple of cat-cow tilts, just opening the chest and rounding the spine. And then eventually either staying here or pressing back to our down dog, or instead of that, pressing back to Anahatasana, bringing the forehead down to the mat, if that feels more comfortable, okay? So let's do that again. Deep inhale, ekam. 2, exhale, fold forward. 3, inhale, lengthen. 4, plant the hands and step back. Lower down with knees or toes. Find your back bend, inhale. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. And we stay here for 5 sounding breaths, either on down dog or Anahatasana, wherever you are. Focus your gaze, your drishti, towards the navel or towards the tip of the nose. 2, 3. Then we start breathing the sound, of course. 4. And 5. Raise your heels, bend your knees. Walk or step all the way to the top of the mat. Lengthen your spine, inhale. Exhale to just fold. Root down through your feet, come all the way up. Samasthiti, hands by your sides. We'll do that one more time, standing at the top. Deep breath in, ekam. 2, exhale, fold. 3, inhale, head up. 4, plant those hands and step back with knees or toes lower, or find your cat-cow tilts. Find your back bend, inhale. Exhale, press back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Pressing into those hands. Keeping those hips towards the sky. Beautiful. Another inhale. Full out breath. One more. Exhale that out. On your next inhale, raise your heels. Bend your knees, walk or step to the top of the mat. Lengthen the spine, inhale. Exhale to just fold. Root down through your feet, come all the way up. Samasthiti, hands by your sides. Beautiful. Shall we do these? Okay. Bend your knees, set your hips low. Utkatasana. We start with chair pose or Utkatasana, bending the knees. The tailbone tucks down, the ribs hug in, the arms reach towards the sky. If the shoulders allow, maybe the hands come together. Take a big breath in here. On the exhale, fold forward, back again. Take a nice long breath, lengthen the spine. On the exhale, we plant those hands and step back, Chaturanga position. High to low plank. Find your back and pancha. Exhale, press back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. This time, on your next inhale, step your right foot in between the hands. The back heel pivots down, Virabhadrasana 8, reaching up towards the sky. Beautiful, nice and lunging through that front leg. Another inhale, beautiful. Full out breath. One more. On the exhale, press those hands on the floor to step back, either to your plank, lower it down. Find your back bend, inhale. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, step the left foot in between the hands, back heel pivots down, Virabhadrasana 8, second side, reaching up towards the sky. Take a nice long breath and empty that out. Another inhale. On the exhale, plant those hands and step back. Chaturanga position, high to low. Find your back bend, inhale. Exhale, press back. Downward facing dog. Take a moment again. Connect to your breath. We again start with that nice sound breath. Take a big breath in. Smooth breath out. One more. Exhale it out. On your next inhale, raise your heels, bend your knees, walk or step to the top of the mat. Lengthen the spine, inhale. Exhale to just fold. Bend your knees, sit your hips low, Utkatasana, reach up towards the sky, gaze towards the thumbs, and on the exhale, release. Hands by yourselves. All right. Couple of things here. When we start Utkatasana, we reach up. On the exhale, we fold forward again. We lengthen and prepare. You plant the hands and step back. Either with knees or toes, as I said, or a couple of cat-cow tilts. We find that back bend. There are two types of back bends that we can use. Okay, so if we, let's say, lower the knees down and lower all the way down to the ground, we decide to really lower. Pressing into those hands, keeping the elbows bent and pointing back. I'm gonna press and just gonna keep my elbows bent. And my pelvis is on the mat. My chest is nice and open, my shoulders are rolling back. If I decide instead that I want a little bit more of a quad stretch in here, I may lift my thighs, pressing only on the tops of the feet and extend my arms. I used to think a lot that this back bend was like not very deep and this one was deeper. I was wrong. So this is very deep. This is not as deep. It's more of a quad stretch. Okay, of course it's a back bend, but it also gets into the quads. So we choose our back bend and then we press back. And then we step the right foot forward. If it doesn't get all the way on in between the hands, don't worry. Grab the foot, place it on the top of the mat as we lift up. The back heel stays on the ground. Potentially and eventually, in the Ashtanga practice, we use the back foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. That is what is a little bit different from the other techniques. Normally, and if we have a little bit less space, we can point the back foot in a 45-degree angle. So just choose whatever your body is more comfortable with. That back leg is nice and straight. This knee is nice and bent. And it doesn't really matter if the hips are driving towards the side. But what really matters is that we turn the shoulders forward to the short edge of the mat and we lift the arms. And of course, if the shoulders are not comfortable here, hands to the center of the chest as a modification. Okay, and then we lower down and then we go through that flow and we do the same in the second side. Okay, let's do that again. Bend your knees, sit your hips low. Utkatasana, ekan, doe, exhale, fold forward again. Then inhale, lengthen, chatuai, plant those hands and step back. High to low plank with knees or toes. Find your back and Urdhva Mukha. Beautiful. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, stepping the right foot in between the hands. Back heel comes to the ground. Virabhadrasana 8. Reaching up towards the sky with your hands. Take a nice long inhale here. And a full empty out. One more. On the exhale, plant those hands and step back. Find your plank again. With knees or toes, we lower. We find the back and inhale. And on the exhale, we press back. Downward facing. On your next inhale, step the left foot in between the hands. Back heel pivots down. Virabhadrasana, a second side. We reach out towards the sky. Take a nice long breath. And that out. Another inhale. Full exhale. Plant those hands on the ground. Step back. Go through your flow. Chest wide position. Foot on the ground, Sherry. Find a back bend. Inhale. Exhale. Press back. Downward facing dog. If Saraswati saw you, what is she doing? And take an inhale. And a full breath out. Let's do 2 more. And a long exhale. 1 more. Empty that out. On your next inhale, raise your heels, bend your knees, walk or step to the top of the mat. Lengthen the spine, inhale. Exhale to just fold. Root down, reach up, bend your knees, sit your hips low, and on the exhale, Samastiti. Okay, Samastiti is more or less like a command, like when the teacher says, come to Samastiti, it's like, come up and ready, right? So that is something that was like very particular about practicing in Mysore. People arrive a little bit before 6 a.m., which is the classes start at 6 a.m., but people arrive before to just like go through sun salutations and stuff. But as soon as the teacher gets to the door, everybody's in Samastiti, just waiting for her for a while. It's wonderful. Like it's amazing the vibe that she gives. Okay. So you will see in your handout, we practice Surya Namaskara 5 times. We did 3. We practice Surya Namaskara B 3 times. We just did 2. So we'll try to build a consistency into the practice. That's why I give you the manual if you want to go through that during this week and just like go through those sun salutations as you go. And you're more than welcome to do that. Okay. So hands to your hips. Open the feet hip distance apart. Rotate the shoulders back, big breath, and open the chest. On the exhale, fall forward over the legs. Catch the big toes with your peace fingers. If they don't get to your toes, bend your knees a lot. You'll see that you can get them. Take a nice long breath. Full breath out. On your next inhale, you're gonna lengthen the spine here. Like if you wanted to make a number 7 with your spine, just holding your toes. Take a nice long breath. On the exhale, open the elbows to the sides and the crown of the head moves towards the ground. Take a nice big breath in. Smooth breath out. Another breath. Empty that out. Last one. Full exhale. On your next inhale, lengthen the spine back again, releasing the toes. Second variation, hands underneath the feet, Baba Hastasana. So we can step the feet on the hands. We need to bend the knees, that's all right. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, again, we fall forward and we move the elbows to the sides and we pull through those hands all the way the torso towards the thighs. You're doing beautifully. Take a nice big inhale. Full exhale. One more. And exhale out. On your next inhale, lengthen the spine back again. Releasing your hands to your hips, micro bend the knees, coming all the way back to standing. First 2 poses of the fundamental asanas. All right, we bring the feet back together, Samastiti at the top of the mat. This time we're gonna step the right foot back, all 10 toes turn towards the side of the mat, right foot. Yeah. So we need to remember the right in this practice has a lot of meaning, like right foot is always first, right hand is always first, right side is always first. Okay, so hands to your hips and extend your arms by your sides. We'll hold this pose. Starfish. We take a big breath in here. We begin to turn the right toes towards the back of the room. Take a nice big breath in. The other foot stays where it is. On the exhale, we'll lean forward and we bring the hand to the shin. The other hand moves towards the sky. If we want to move to the shin, that's all right. Just keep the chest nice and open. I'm going to ask you to move a little bit more up, and then we're going to push those hips a little. Yes. And then I'm going to place this block on the outside of your foot, and you're going to press your hand there. Same thing here. Take a big breath in. You're going to put the block right there, and we're going to reach Yeah. Yes. Another inhale. Full out breath. On your next inhale, gaze down, micro bend the front knee coming all the way back to your starfish. If you're using a block, you're more than welcome to move it forward on the other side. What we want to do in here, for Trikonasana, just for one moment, you can bring your hands down. So as we step the foot back, we turn the toes towards the side of the mat. We take a nice long breath. We want that foot to be nice and like in line towards, with the toes turning exactly towards the side of the mat. As we put the block on the outside of the foot, either block or chair, we'll try with the chair now. We take a big breath in here, and then we hinge forward. We want to kind of like keep the hips as they are. And if I was on a wall, sorry about this, Cherry, I'm just gonna steal your space for a moment. If I was leaning against the wall, I want my spine to be, you know, like nice and long. So if I go a little bit more down, of course, my torso needs to rotate a lot because my hips want to go back and they don't have space. So that means I need to stay here, right? And then eventually, if I have a little bit more space, I go a little bit more down, but I want my whole torso to press against the wall. Okay, so that's why we put the block or the support. Of course, if you don't have any props, this can also be done just with legs. Okay, thank you so much. Take a big breath in and here. Okay, so again, we're gonna set the starting starfish. We're gonna do that on the second side. We're gonna open the left foot towards the front of the mat. Again, with a long spine in here, we begin to lean forward, hand lowers to your shin. The other hand moves towards the sky. Beautiful. And if we need a little bit more height, we put a little bit more height. And we bring those toes. Yes. Take a nice big breath in. And empty that out. One more. On the exhale, gaze down, micro bend the knee, coming all the way back to starfish. Take a big breath in here. On the exhale, we're gonna move the right foot back again towards the back of the mat. This time, Parivrita Trikonasana, which is the revolved version. We're gonna twist. So we're gonna bring the left hand forward. We're gonna windmill that hand, left hand moves forward, and it's gonna go down either to the shin or the block beside your foot, and the other hand is gonna stay on the lower back for now. Yes. Take a big breath in. Now move the hand to the lower back. As this hand comes to the lower back. Right here. Opening the chest. What's that? Yes, of course. Another inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, gaze down. Micro bend the knee, coming all the way back to your starfish. Second side. We open the left foot towards the front of the mat, and again, the right hand is going to come and windmill towards the front of the room. Hand to your shin or your block, the other hand stays on your lower back. And once you have that rotation on the torso happening from there, maybe you reach your top hand towards the sky. You take a nice long breath, beautiful. And empty that out. One more. And a long exhale, so coming back to center, gaze down, micro bend the knee, coming all the way back to starfish. Samasthiti at the top of the mat. All right. So what did we learn in here? Just gonna go step by step in these postures because I really want you to practice this sequence when we're not together. But okay, so we'll learn that demonstration at the wall that was unfortunate, and the rotation, right? So when I windmill my hand and reach forward, my other hand comes to my lower back. I want to gain a little bit of length in here, but as I gain length in here, I see that I'm reducing kind of like strength on my back leg. I need to keep on pushing down on my back foot because I need that leg active. I don't want that, I don't want it to be kind of like, you know, like bent or lazy there. I want it to be nice and strong. My hips are moving forward. I reach down to a block or the mat. I press the hand away from me. And again, I begin to rotate from the torso, opening the chest towards the side. And again, in here, if I feel that I have that torso or that chest opening towards the side, maybe I reach the hand towards the sky. And it is a good exercise, actually. And when you're rotating, what am I doing? Okay, when you're rotating here, kind of like the hand is right here. And if I feel that the chest is moving, I can even bring my palm on my chest. And then from here, unfold and reach up towards the sky. All right? Can we do that again? All right. So stepping the right foot back, all 10 toes towards the sides of the mat. Take a nice long inhale, extend the spine, extend the arms. Open the right foot towards the back of the mat, hinge forward, hand to your shin, the other hand reaches up towards the sky. So it's the first position. Trikonasana A. Big breath in. Yes. Full exhale. One more. Exhale that out. Beautiful. Gaze down, micro bend the knee, coming all the way back to your starfish. Second side, opening the left foot towards the front of the mat. Hinge forward and here, hand to your shin or your block. The other hand moves towards the sky. And again, maybe the gaze comes towards the sky. Yes, if the balance is good. If not, we can keep it down. Another inhale. Full out breath. On your next inhale, gaze down, micro bending the knee, coming all the way back to starfish. Second variation, Parivrita Trikonasana. Open the left foot back again. Sorry, the right foot back again. Windmill those hands. The left hand comes to the shin or the block. The other hand comes to the lower back. Yeah. Opposite hand. Take another. Yeah. Take another inhale. And now that we have that rotation on the chest, maybe we begin to reach towards the sky. If we have a little bit more space, of course. Another in breath and a full out breath. One more. On the exhale, gaze down, micro bend the knee, coming all the way back to starfish. Second side, we open the left foot back again. Then we windmill those hands. The back hand comes to your shin or the block, and the other hand to the lower back. We take a big breath in. Full exhale. And once we feel that rotation is happening, maybe, just maybe, we reach the top arm towards the sky. Another in breath. Full out breath. Gaze down, micro bend the knee, coming all the way back to starfish. And on the exhale, Samasthiti at the top of the mat. Beautiful. All right, let's move forward. Let's move back really. Step the right foot back, turn all 10 toes towards the side of the mat. Ashtanga yoga already works. Extend your arms towards the sides. Again, starfish pose, but this time it's gonna be a little bit wider. Those stands are gonna go a little bit wider. We're going to turn the right toes towards the back of the room, and we're going to begin to bend the front knee. Yes, like in a warrior two position. We're going to go through that pose later. Take a nice long inhale in here. Parshvakonasana, forearm to your thigh, the other arm reaches towards the back of the room. Yes, beautiful. Take a nice long breath. And bend to that out. Yeah. Another inhale. Full out breath. Gaze down, bending the knee, coming all the way back to warrior two. Extend your legs, starfish. Deep breath in, open the left foot this time. Take a nice long inhale here. On the exhale, forearm to your thigh, and the other arm reaches forward towards the sky. Deep breath in. Full breath out. The front is nice and bent. Another breath. And on the exhale, we come back to center, extend your arms by your sides. Take a moment, bring your hands to the center of the chest. Parivrita Parsvakonasana. There are several ways to get to that. I'm going to explain them all. We're going to open the right foot towards the back of the mat. We're going to twist the torso to face the back of the mat. For that, the back heel may come off the ground, and you can bring your knee to the ground for stability if you like. You can take a nice long breath in here, and on the exhale, the opposite elbow is going to touch the thigh, and the hand is going to stay at the center of the chest. Yes. So either stay floating the back heel. Yeah. Take a nice long breath. Beautiful. What we can do is hand to the thigh and the other hand over. Yeah, that may feel a lot better. Take another inhale here. Full out breath. One more. On the exhale, gaze down, coming all the way back to your starfish. Second side, opening the foot towards the front of the mat, hands to the center of the chest. Rotating. Either the heel stays on the ground, if we have space. If not, we lift the heel and we begin to rotate a lot more. Maybe maybe elbow to the thigh or hand to the thigh and the other hand to the lower back. We take a nice long inhale. Full exhale. One more. On the exhale, we start coming back to center. We come back to center, extend your arms. And on the exhale, Samasthiti at the top of the mat. Okay, couple of notes here. As we step back, we open the foot, either forearm to the thigh, the palm faces down towards the ground, the other arm is pressing on the thigh. Just make sure that this arm is not like collapsing on the thigh. We lightly touch it. If we have a little bit more space, we may lower the hand to the block or all the way to the ground, just making sure that back foot still pressed on the floor. And for the Parivrita version, either the foot stays on the ground, hands to the center of the chest, we lean forward a little bit as we begin to rotate. As we saw that before, the hand can come to the thigh, the other hand can come to the lower back, and we twist. We want to focus the twist from the torso. So keep on bending that front knee, the back leg is straight, it can come off the ground, and if it helps with balance, we may lower it down. So it's a couple of variations. What we want eventually is moving forward, elbow passes the leg, hand to the ground, the other hand reaches towards the front of the room. Okay, shall we do it again? All right, let's step the right foot back again. We're gonna stay for too long. We're gonna open the right foot towards the back of the room, extend your arms by your sides, big breath in here. On the exhale, forearm to your thigh, extend the arm towards the front, the back of the room. Yeah, big breath in. Smooth breath out. Drishti towards your top hand. Beautiful. Another breath. Empty that out. Gaze down, micro bend the knee, coming all the way back to your starfish. Second side, we open the left foot, we hinge forward, forearm to your thigh. The other hand towards the front of the room. If we have a little bit more space, maybe the hand comes to the block. We bend this knee. We take another inhale. Smooth out breath. Another one. And on the exhale, we come back to center. We open the foot towards the sides. Parivrita version. Opening the right foot towards the back of the mat. Hands to the center of the chest. Big breath in. We begin to rotate. Maybe your heel comes off the ground. Maybe the elbow comes to your thigh. Maybe your hand comes to support the thigh and the other hand comes to support the lower back. Big breath in. Beautiful. Smooth exhale. Keep on pressing my foot. Another breath. On the exhale, come back to center. extending your arms. Second side, big breath in here, hands to the center of the chest as you turn the toes. Find your twist, either elbow to thigh, hand to your thigh, or if you have, of course, a little bit more space, maybe you bring that hand down, the other arm towards the front of the room. Yes. Another inhale, and a yes, and a full out breath. Last one. Okay, so come back to center. Big step forward, Namaste at the top of the mat. All right. I think we're gonna have to interpolate just you. You're good. Okay. We're gonna open the right foot back again. All 10 toes towards the sides of the mat. This time, the hands are gonna stay on our hips. And then Nadia is gonna move a little bit closer to me because we're gonna fall forward. So yeah. So open the foot towards it. Yeah. Beautiful. Hands to your hips. Yeah, that's what we want. Hands to your hips, rotate your shoulders back. Big breath in here. On the exhale, we fall forward over the center. We bring the hands to the ground and lengthen the spine. Prasarita, Prasarita Padottanasana. Take a big breath in here. On the exhale, we begin to bend the elbows and bring the crown of the head to point towards the ground. Yes, beautiful. Take a nice long breath, and here you can bend your knees a lot. No shame on that. Full exhale. One more. Exhale that out. Hands press on the ground. Lift up the chest back again, lengthen. Hands to your hips, micro bend the knees, coming all the way back to standing. One note here that I want to mention before we go forward, make sure in this position that instead of sticking the bum out, we keep the tailbone in. We will fire those rectus abdominis muscles or your core muscles to protect the lower back. If we go into that tilt, it will create a lot of tension on your attachments of the hamstrings and eventually create a little bit of tears on your glutes. And you don't want that. It's a really bad pain in the butt. So literally. And it's also a condition called yoga. It's something that is real. So tuck your tailbone, hands to the hips. This time we extend the arms towards the sides back again. Take a very big breath in here. On the exhale, hands to the hips, rotate the shoulders back. The elbows are gonna move towards each other as much as you can. Big breath in. And on the exhale, we fall forward back again. The crown of the head again tries to point towards the ground. We stay with the hands on the hips. Yeah, this is the second variation of Prasarita. Big breath in, the chest is nice and open. We use only the strength of the legs to go through this forward fold. We take another inhale, smooth out breath. Pressing into the feet, begin to rise all the way back up. Third variation, big breath in to reach towards the sides. On the exhale, clasp your hands behind you. Deep inhale, is that comfortable? Yes. On the exhale, begin to fold forward back again. The hands stay away from your lower back. That is possible if the shoulders allow. Take a big breath in. Smooth exhale. On your next inhale, press into the feet back again, begin to rise. Fourth variation, we take a big breath in as we lengthen the arms back again. Hands to your hips. Take a nice long breath, rotate the shoulders. On the exhale, fold forward back again. As you're folding forward, catch your big toes. If your hands don't touch your big toes, bend your knees. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, again, fold forward, crown of the head points towards the ground. And we breathe. 3, 4. And 5. Lengthen the spine back again, releasing your toes, hands to your hips, micro bend the knees, coming all the way back to standing. Big step forward, Samasthiti at the top of the mat. Beautiful. We're almost on the fundamental asanas. That's great. We're gonna do a couple of variations in this one. We're gonna see how that goes. Either for now, actually, I want everybody to bring hands to the hips, and we will do the two more times so we can take a look at the arm position. But for now, hands to the hips. Rotate the shoulders back. We're gonna step again, the right foot forward, the right foot back, and we're gonna turn the toes towards the back of the mat. And here we have 2 options. Either stay as we are, with the back foot parallel to the surface of the mat and the other toes pointing forward. It might be a little bit trickier to fall forward this way. You can bring your foot on a 45-degree angle. That would be more comfortable. If you have a little bit more space, you can stay as you are with the foot in a 90. We take a nice long breath in here, open the chest, and on the exhale, we begin to fall forward over the leg. And once we feel the spine is rounding, we stop falling and we focus on lengthening through the spine. Yes, and the elbows want to squeeze towards each other. Beautiful. And use your hands as a reference on your hips to keep them nice and level. Nice adjustment. Another inhale. Full out breath. Keep on pressing on the outside of your foot. Another big breath in. Full exhale, nice adjustment. So take a nice long breath, reach up, back to center. Second side. We open the left foot towards the front of the mat. Again, we decide if we want that foot on a 45 or a 90-degree angle. We turn the torso and the hips face forward. We take a nice long breath. And on the exhale, we begin to fall forward. And again, we use those hands as a reference to keep the hips nice and level in space. We keep the chest nice and open, the elbows pointing towards the sky. Yeah, nice long inhale. And a full out breath. Pressing into those feet, coming all the way back up to standing. Extend your arms by your side. Samasthiti at the top of the mat. Okay. The arm variation of this position. Right? It's not the best. Okay, so we have several steps to go there, right? Like if we don't want to go there, like I mean, there's no need to get there ever. We can always stay on the hips. But if your objective is to work towards there, okay. So a couple of options. Either opposite fists, which is the one that is a little bit more open, is nice and gentle-ish in the shoulders. Of course, it's more gentle on the hips. Or holding hands. Of course, eventually, if you bring your elbows to catch your opposite elbows, it might be a little bit closer. And eventually, maybe the reverse prayers looks like this. And once we get a little bit more space, we begin to turn those fingers to point towards the sky, and we squeeze those elbows back. Okay, so just take what you need, work with what you have right now. I would say maybe if you've never done that, bringing opposite fists together works pretty well. Okay, same thing. We step the right foot back. We turn all 10 toes or the toes towards the back of the mat. Same pose. Extend the front leg. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, we begin to fall forward back again. And the hands in the back kind of like gives us a nice reference for when we're kind of like rounding here. But we lose a little bit of the reference of we are in need to square those hips. Yes, but because we have a lot of knowledge of our body, we know it. Take another inhale, smooth out breath. Pressing into that front foot, coming all the way back to standing. Second side, we open the left foot again, we turn the torso forward, we take a big breath in, keep that front leg extended, and on the exhale, we fold forward back again. Big inhale, smooth breath out. Another inhale, full out breath. Pressing into those toes, coming all the way back up, extend your arms. Oh, nice and extended. And on the exhale, Samasthiti at the top of the mat. Okay. We're finished with that was our fundamental asanas. And this is just a warm-up for the primary series. Okay, so next week, we'll take a look at primary series for the beginning of that. But, okay, it is now time to go. We're still just working with a couple of things. So let's take take a big breath in to reach up towards the sky. And on the exhale, fold forward a little less. Lengthen the spine, inhale. Plant those hands, step back to your plank. With knees or toes lower. Find your back bend, inhale. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. And whenever you feel ready, begin to come to a seat. Sit for a moment. We can sit on our block. Let's sit for a moment here. And one of the main things that the Ashtanga practice focuses on is the breath, right? So it takes a lot of practice, and we will do this next class. We will focus it a little bit more on the breath, because we want that breath to be equal in the inhalation and equal in the exhalation. And the reason we count so much in the Ashtanga practice is because we're counting breaths, right? So just an example here. So if I breathe, let's say, go through Surya Namaskar, I say ekam, doe, treni, chatvari, pancha, and then shat. And that just looks very weird. And I'm not really breathing, right? So what about if I go ekam, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I just got it wrong. Ekam, 2, 3, 4, doe, 2, 3, 4. Training, inhale, 3, 4, chatvari, step back, 3, 4, pancha, 3, 4, shat, 3, 4. And I say, and I take 1, inhale, and exhale, 2. And 3. And it's actually very relaxing, right? And it's actually very powerful. The breath, as you breathe in through the nose and pass the air through the back of the throat, it takes that it has that result of like kind of like calmness. I don't know if you experience that, if you ever practice that, and when you're breathing that way, you're more focused because you're actually listening to your breath, and you're actually like paying attention on how it comes in and how it goes out. The sensation is much stronger. So we're going to practice a little bit of that breath, just now that you're sitting. With our hands on the thighs, just make sure you're sitting nice and tall, rotating the shoulders back. And take a nice big breath in. And a full breath out, just free breath. Another inhale. And a full out breath. And we begin in 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. One more round. In, 3, 4, out, 3 and 4. Release. Take a moment, inhale and exhale through your nose, just as you do normally. I'm gonna count a little bit longer, adding internal retention. If you don't feel comfortable with internal retention of the breath, you just go through your breath on your own. Okay, let's take a cleansing breath. Inhale, full exhale. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold inside. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold on for a moment. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold inside. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold out. Inhale. 4, 2, 1. Hold inside. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 6, 1. Hold in. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale. 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold out. Inhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold inside. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold out. Inhale. 6. Hold in. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1. Hold out. Release. Just take an in breath and out breath as you would do normally. Whenever you feel ready, take your time to find your way to your back with the crown of the head facing the altar. Take a moment here to extend your arms by your sides. Allow your legs relax on the ground. Maybe allow your palms to face the sky. If you feel comfortable, of course, this will give a nice position to your shoulders. And bring the attention to the right foot. And as you bring awareness to your right foot, notice any sensations on your toes, on the sole of the foot, on your heel, your ankle. And as the attention grows a little bit more into the leg, the calf. That's all right. The calf and the hip. See if you can help your leg relax a little bit. Bring your awareness to your left foot, your toes, and any sensation on your ankles, your calf, your knee, and your thigh. See if you can help relax that leg a little bit more. Bring your awareness to your navel, to your belly button. Can you notice it rising up and down as you breathe? Is there any tension there? Are you holding something in? Can you let go of that tension? See if you notice any sensations on your chest. How does your heart feel today? Can you feel its heartbeat? Is there any tension on your chest or on your shoulders? Can you help it relax a little bit more? Bring your awareness to your right hand, your right fingertips. And the palm on the wrist. And the elbow. The whole arm, all the way to your shoulder. Can you allow any tension on your right arm to release? Just to let go on the ground. Can you do that the same on the second side? Notice any sensations on your arm, your left fingertips. See if you can let go a little bit of any tension. You let your muscles on your face soften a little bit more. Even your hair feels so soft. Swasti Pratapyaham Paripalantyam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishah Go Brahmanapyaha Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Samangalani Santu Lokshakaryana Sampriti Rastu Vishwashanti Rastu Om Shanti 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 Allow your breath to come back into your lungs. Maybe finding a little bit of movement in your toes, your fingers. Eventually finding your way to movement. If you need to stretch your arms behind your head, go ahead. Make sure you don't give a foot massage to your neighbor. You start, you have a lot of space, so that's all right. Whenever you feel ready, turn to your fetal position on the side of your choice. Taking your time to find your way into your seated position with your eyes closed. Hands at the center of the chest. Just taking a moment here to connect back to your breath, to connect back to your intention. Rub your palms together. And cover your eyes. Rub your palms one more time. To cover that part of the body that needs it the most right now. Thank you so much for your practice and your presence. It is an honor to be here with you. Thank you so much for letting me do this with you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week. I will see you next time. Thank you. Have a peaceful day. Thank you. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to email me. I'm happy to help. And yeah, like, I mean, it is not homework. If you want to go through the sequence during the week, just, like see how that progresses, like, and you have the cheat sheet, of course, but see how much you can go through the sequence without looking at it. That's the key. So I used to practice a lot with the cheat sheet, and then one of my teachers kind of like saw it and was like, it got kicked out. It's like, no, memory, right? So it's like the practice builds stuff. But of course, you have the guide there just in case, like, okay, but what's next? Okay, you take a little bit, okay, well, this is this one. And then like, it's just muscle memory, right? If you want to go through that, and after fundamental asanas, just sitting, breathing before you relax. It's a full practice, all right? Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Besos, namaste. Bonito Día de las Madres.
Gracias. Besitos. Bye.
Besitos. Bye.